Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we have a fun mod to talk about. Heroes No More Aekold Hellbrass, Legendary Lord. So yeah, the modders that fixed up Scar decided to give Aekold a whirl, which at this point I like Aekold as a legendary hero. But since there's no really other factions to play around with, seeing as Shadows of Change brought in the Changeling, which is a one and done, I actually quite like the idea of changing Aekold into a Legendary Lord until Creative Assembly decide to give us VIKRAM. So, let's talk about a few things, because obviously we need to talk about Faction and Lord effects. Faction effects, Unit Camp +3 for the Severed Claw, Aspiring Champions Regiment of Renown. Bound spell, Pink Fire of Tzeentch for Aspiring Champions. I have checked this, the Severed Claw does not have the bound spell though. Doesn't really matter though, because that Regiment of Renown is absolutely insane. Upkeep, minus 20% for Tzeentch Marks units, so these would be the Mortals. Aekold's generic Mortal Lords and Heroes have access to Boons of Chaos. Aekold is able to collect the Books of Nagash, increasing his standing with Tzeentch ranks and preventing them from being exploited by Unworthy. I assume it's the Unworthy. So yeah, we'll talk about that mechanic in just a little bit. Now, Lord effects. Growth plus 25% for local province regardless of ownership. Keep in mind that Aekold is very much here with the whole he is a character of life whilst also still being a Tzeentchian character. It's a very strange thing about his lore. Casualty replenishment plus 5% for armies and region, regardless of ownership, so yes, your enemies will also heal up too. Winds of Magic cost minus 20% for Lore of Life spells for armies and region, regardless of ownership once again. And finally, enemy leadership minus 8 for enemy armies in local province. So you're going to see a lot of life aspects here. Let's just jump into the campaign because there's a few things to talk about. So your campaign is quite multi-start here. You get the element of choice. You'll be starting off with Aekold at the border to Kislev, where you'll be pushing in and pretty much capturing Prague by around turn 5, 6, depending on how your playstyle goes and your chosen difficulty. But you do also have a minor army up north with a major settlement, which is that minor faction that you normally take out quite quickly when playing as Daniel, if you've ever played as Daniel. I don't blame you if you haven't. But yeah, that means that you've got the element of choice here, where you want to expand up at north, or if you want to expand down south. Since your mortals are cheaper, you'll be able to field up a few armies of marauders without too much of an issue, and you get the element of choice. Once you take over the first settlement for the Prague faction, you're met with the choice of giving up the major settlements and getting a rather large sum of money, or keeping it and also then picking up some grimoires. The important thing to note here is that you're going to be at war with the Kislevite faction, which I believe are the Ropsmen, and also Daniel and Epidemius up north. So you're going to be dealing with a few problems. It depends again on your playstyle if you wish to be fighting multiple fronts at the very start of your campaign. I've been playing around with keeping both, and it is pretty hectic, but it does allow you to level up some characters pretty quickly, which is always quite nice. Aekold's unique skill line is that he had as a legendary hero, which works out quite well. You get Frenzy when fighting against the Empire. There's a lot of bonuses against the Empire, and also diplomatic relations with the Chaos factions, barring demons, more passive abilities and stuff. Big boost to your cavalry, which I've just realized. It's really funny that he's a character that boosts up cavalry, yet he's not mounted himself, and that's more of a Games Workshop thing, because he used to be a member of a knightly order, so it's kind of funny, right? And also, he does have his items, by the way, the ones that you're used to when he's a legendary hero, but you'll be picking them up as you progress and level him up, rank 7 and rank 12 respectively, which is pretty good because they're really strong items, so it makes sense to wait a little bit. Right, we're going to talk about mechanics now. He has the Books of Nagash, which is a mechanic that you're very much used to already. However, there's different bonuses when it comes to that, because you'll be able to pick up Chaos Lords and Chaos Heroes, sorcerers, by the way, with the Lore of Life by using the books, by getting the books themselves. You got some pretty good bonuses for all armies, Perfect Vigor for all characters. The base healing cap is just absolutely amazing. Like, you can really heal up your forces and make them absolutely terrifying with that. But there's more benefits of that, because when you get the Books of Nagash, you'll actually be unlocking some more stuff for the Changing of the Ways, including Recruit Sorcerer, Teleport to Cult, Remove Immortality, which is pretty tasty. So yeah, you can actually just kill off Karl Franz or any other legendary lord, which is going to be quite useful because you're a Tzeentch faction and the player bias kicks in, everyone decides to start hating you. I like the system, I think it's pretty cool. The books are spread out as per usual, and there's one in Norska, there's one in Prague from the very beginning, so you'll be able to pick one up, and you get some extra bonuses from those books as it stands anyway. So as you start progressing, you're going to get much, much stronger, and you can take advantage of it. You can teleport armies to different locations. You can actually just trade the settlements and then build up an army there quickly if you can. So this gives you another reason to play a Tzeentch campaign if you've already played enough with Kairos and you've done your one campaign with the Changeling. Hopefully in the future, Creative Assembly add in a system to be able to more element of choice for the Changeling, so people are more incentivized to play him again. But until then, mods like this really do help out. Now you do have access to the Law of Life, which I think is a really nice added bit of flavor there. It's a lore that everyone's kind of used to, but it makes sense with Aekold having some spellcasters with it. There's not much to talk about there, but you do have the Path to Glory, so your mortal lords and your heroes will have access to Path to Glory. So this is, you know, win a battle against a demon race, or rank up in channeling stance, so you'll be able to get some bound spells or even some better bonuses. I like it. It's not just for the life spellcasters, by the way, it's for your metal ones too. And it gives you a reason to use more of the mortals rather than the demons, even though both of them are quite good, but now the mortals get a little bit better. And you do have unique win conditions, because it's focusing around the books, using the Changing of the Ways, and picking up some grimoires, whilst also destroying certain factions. So yeah, it's mostly for the short victory, just destroy Kislev, which makes perfect sense. You're in the general vicinity, it's not going to be a long campaign for you. Well, mostly just collecting the grimoires, I think, is the longest one, and using the Changing of the Ways, but you can get this done within 30-40 turns maybe. I myself like to do like long ass campaigns close to full world conquest, or until I get bored really, so it doesn't really matter too much, but the bonuses are decent anyway, so that's the most important thing. So campaign wise, it's pretty fun. The push to use more mortals is always quite nice. We need more of that, which is why we need IGRIM in the future. But until then, I think Aekold does do quite well here. It's not like he's that amazing of a legendary hero in vanilla anyway. Besides, in most cases, you're going to be focusing on picking up the blue scribes, right? So, yeah, having a full legendary lord that focuses around mortals works out quite well. They've got a lot of stuff to play around with. You've got the Mutilated Vortex Beast and so on, and that's like a mortal monster, despite the fact that CA keep putting it in the gift section. One important thing to note is that this doesn't have the system like Khorne does at the moment. None of the other factions do, where there's no separation for building, so you can mix and match if you please, which I think the freedom is quite nice. Ultimately, in my own little playthrough last night, because I couldn't sleep, I was using a lot of mortals. I think I didn't actually use any demons whatsoever, barring some blue horrors when I had a bit of an oh shit moment and I needed to recruit something quickly, and that's all that was available to me. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Think of it very similar to Village, but obviously you do have your own unique campaign styling and you won't have to do the whole upgrading system, which there's a mod that we're going to be talking about soon, which really does fix up the upgrading stuff. It's definitely something that you're going to want to check out if you're interested in playing some Tzeentch. We do know that they have plans to kind of go back to Shadows of Change and just fix up the races, so eventually we're likely going to see a Tzeentch rework, hopefully. But I would say, given the current standing and really how good the mod is, you're more than able to have a little bit of fun with it. So the mod itself can be found in the description below. Check it out, have some fun. Really just take advantage of the fact that you've got really strong warriors. Funny enough, I just played against a Tzeentch warrior list on the tabletop and it was pretty disgusting. So yeah, you know, it gives me incentive to want to play this. Have a great day, everyone. Let me know what you guys think about the mods in the description below, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Oh, also, I'll be streaming later today on twitch.tv/thegreatbookofgrudges if you want to pop by about an hour after this video goes live. It's just first stream of the year for me, and it will be nice. See you guys.